Hello, YouTube. Haven't uploaded in a little bit, but we're back. All right. So, welcome. If you're a repeat listener or if you're new, welcome all the same. Um, to be honest, the reason why is because, and I don't know if this is like a problem with me, like if something's wrong with me or like, I don't know, I've just developed it, but like, I don't think too often. And it's kind of a weird thing to say. Like, what do you mean you don't think? But it's like, I'll just sit here and then thoughts don't like cross my mind. I think about what I'm doing in the moment and then maybe I'll see something that reminds me of something else and then I'll think about that. But I won't be like, oh, what would be a good idea for an audio? Like that doesn't really come into my head. Like even when I'm trying to think about it, I can't like come up with very good things. Either way, I think the main contributor to that has been the fact that from a young age I've been in front of and on computers, right? So like I've been on the computer playing a game, watching video streams, in a forum, in a chat room, whatever. I've been pretty much involved with the computer for conservatively maybe like 65% of at least my adult life. Growing up as well, when I was young, my parents got me a computer and basically had that computer raise me. Um, is what it is. But yeah, come home from school, hop on the computer, you know, doing whatever the hell I did, staying up way too late, and then trying to, wake up early enough for school. And, I'd sometimes I'd wake up even earlier just so I could be on the computer even more. I'd say I'd wake up at 5 a.m. I'd wake up at like 4:30 and try and do something on the computer for a little bit before I had to get ready for school, stuff like that. It's it's kind of crazy when I think about it, because like it's been a part of me for I don't like as long as I can remember. Um, I wasn't like a complete shut-in loner, but for the most part, I was right. Like I had a group of friends that also were into video games and computer stuff, so like I had shared interests with people, right? I never like went out. I never like partied or anything. uh, I just kind of stuck to it and played games all day. And I think that being in front of a monitor, a screen, whatever, for so much of my life has impacted me in a lot of negative ways. One being my memory, because I don't remember much growing up. Um, Maybe there just wasn't very many memories to be had, so that's why I don't remember. Or I've read online that it's like trauma has your brain like tries to forget things, but like I don't think anything negative happened. But then again, if it did, I suppose I would have blocked the memory. I think it was just me being on a computer for most of the day. There's like not much memorable things that have happened. Um, so I blame my lack of memory on the computer frying my brain and also frying my vision, because I recall sometime in school, I don't remember the year or anything, obviously, as my memory is not good, but I do remember this moment. Um, I was sitting there and the teacher was writing something on the board and I was trying to copy it, take notes, and I I was looking at the board and I was just like, hold up. I can't read what that is, like what that is. Like what I literally can't read that, you know? So I was like, can I like move up, you know? Because I was in like probably the third row or back row or whatever. And I moved up to the front row, like as furthest as I could. And even that was still blurry, you know? I was still squinting my eyes, you know, kind of leaning forward, trying to copy what was on the board. And I was like, man, my vision is really bad, you know? And I came home, told my parents. I don't remember the glasses process. I'm assuming I went to somewhere to get an eye exam, and then I know that my glasses came in the mail. Maybe the process was just different back then. I don't know, because this would have been a while ago, like 15 years or something, uh, longer maybe. But I remember I came home from school one day, and the package of the mail was sitting on the counter waiting for me, and opened it up, and it's like, you know, a YouTube video when you're trying to watch it, and you know it defaults to like 160p, right? Really low quality, blurry, bad. That's basically what my vision is like without glasses, right? It's terrible. No one wants to see that. It, you know, it hurts your eyes. Like you can't see anything. You know, it's hard to tell apart like colors. Can't read words. And I took the glasses out of the box and I put them on, and it went from 160p to like 1440p HD, right? Absolutely unreal, incredible scenes. I think I literally cried because I was so happy and like, whoa, like I can actually see. You know, I can tell colors from a distance. I can actually read words on objects. You know, I can actually see things. It's crazy. Because for the most part, it didn't affect me that much when I was on the computer because I sat pretty close to the screen. So I think my vision like adjusted to that, you know, close up to the screen, and then anything beyond like hand distance, not even like full length distance, just like slight hand distance away is just a blur, right? It's terrible. My vision is awful. And like I said, I blame my lack of memory and my lack of vision on being on a computer for most of my life. But, you know, here we are. You wouldn't be listening to this today if that wasn't the case, more than likely. So there's that. Um, yeah, I mean, so basically, my mind has always been sort of blank in the sense that I don't ponder things or think too much about things. I'm very much in the moment, right? And like I said with my memory, it's pretty bad. I'm gonna take a sip of water here. And the thing is that I remember, you know, like my brain will hold these memories of honestly pretty useless stuff, like video game related, you know. For example, RuneScape. I played a lot of RuneScape growing up. So as a result, I typed a lot because it's an MMO, which is a massive multiplayer online role playing game. MMORPG. Most people just say MMO. But anyways, you can have people from all over the world in the game with you, and you know the way of communication was typing. So everybody, you know, had to type. So I learned how to type, and to this day, I still do the same typing style. You know, I never learned like a formal, proper way to position my hand and type. You know, I kind of just pecked with my pointer fingers, and then like eventually started to learn to use my other fingers. And all of these years doing this was before I took any computer class. So by the time I had gotten to computer classes, I was like a genius, you know? I was typing like 100 words a minute, right? I was typing faster than the teacher, you know? They had us doing all these, like, just really easy generic things. Like they'd put you on like a type racer test and you have to like type, the paragraphs out. And, all the other kids, they're sitting there and they're kind of pecking and they're going really slow, right? They're struggling. The all of these tests, they'll keep them busy for the whole shift, the class, right? Not me though, because I was I went crazy on it. So I'd be finished in like 10 minutes, and then I'd have like the rest of the class to do whatever I want. And I don't remember if I had the same teacher or bad memory, but I do know that I was given pretty much, if you finished all of the work that they had assigned for you in the day, you could do whatever you wanted for the rest of the period or the class, whatever. So, I would just play more games, and it's pretty awesome playing games in school. I'm sitting there playing games, fooling around. Everyone else is stuck slowly typing and, calling the teacher over asking for help and stuff. And I'm just like, all my years of playing RuneScape, I'm quick witted on the keyboard. Um, I played a lot of Realm of the Mad God. I remember that. It was a browser game for anyone that would maybe know, but probably not. But yeah, that was probably the only good thing I've ever taken out of being chronically online and on a computer was the fact that I can type fast. But oh well. Um, I'm not sure where I was exactly going with this. Basically, my memory's fried, my eyes are fried. Oh yeah, I have a bunch of useless knowledge. Like if you ask me, for example, RuneScape, I could name like all of the skills in the game, and then I could tell you all of the things that you can do with the skills, the ways you can train it, areas you can go, things that you can do, right? Um, just like an infinite, vast knowledge of these things, right? Like you ask me something, and I could probably tell you the answer, right? I'm basically like a Wikipedia page ingrained in my head. With like League of Legends, another game, it has like 150 characters, and each character has 4 unique abilities and then a unique passive. So basically, 5 abilities each. And I could tell you all of the characters, all of their abilities, all of their passives, what they look like, what the abilities do, right? Same with Heroes of Newerth, another game similar to League of Legends. And all of these things have just been lodged away in like a memory compartment. I remember all of that stuff from years ago, right? It's just permanently been ingrained with me. But then, like, I don't remember things that I did growing up. I don't remember birthdays, holidays, things like that. And it's kind of just always been that way. So if you ever told me something and I forgot, sorry. Uh, Wish I could be better about it, but it's memory's just not there. Vision's not there. Yeah, I think I've been rambling for long enough here. I suppose I could continue on, perhaps in another video. But yeah, either way, if you listen this far, thank you. Right? I know there's not many of you that do, but the few of you that do really do appreciate it, and I appreciate you for listening. Right? Makes me happy that you like listening to me. And like I said, I don't have very much to talk about being, on a computer day in, day out, all day. There aren't many things that go on in my life. So, yeah, sorry. Um, you got to give me ideas, right? Give me topics, interesting things, stuff like that, like, maybe I could ramble about because otherwise, head empty, no thoughts. And that's where we are now. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Remember that you are loved, you are cared for. I'm proud of you. Keep doing your best. All right. And have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, week, month. Keep being awesome.